I've been away for a long time in New Zealand at Exilecon. I'm sure some of you already know that. Maybe you saw me on the Exilecon stream. Ooh. Oh, what a trip it was. There is a lot to unpack. I have pictures. I have photos. We're gonna do some show and tell. They're in a random order because I don't know how to order photos properly. So they're in a random order. And there's a lot to unpack, really. There's a lot to unpack about the whole thing, about the Exilecon trip, all of the things we've done there. I mean, literal, physical unpacking, yet as well, but also mental unpacking about all of the things we saw and did while at Exilecon and all of the things that were announced and shown. It was an absolutely phenomenal convention, the best I've ever been to by a very, very wide margin. I didn't get to play even a second of the card game, and I'm very sad about that fact, but I was just way too busy. It was completely non-stop. There was not a single minute wasted nor free, really. I think I had about 10 minutes on each day, which I probably wisely used to go outside, sit down, and eat some lunch. For our Exilecon trip, we went a little early. We went like a week early. And Amy, myself, Asuzara, and Rise QT traveled around the countryside. We gallivanted across the countryside, doing various things. Glowworms, luging, farty volcanic fields, and all around just cacking ourselves, laughing, and having a really wonderful time. Had just such a good time hanging out with them. It was like, it made me realize how much I miss having friends in real life. Oh god, because it was so nice. It was just so good. They were such wonderful people to hang out with. I didn't know Asuzara that much before the trip, but I'm so glad that we had a lot of time to hang out, because she's really nice and really cool, and knows a lot of stuff about a lot of gross sea creatures. She has a particularly keen insight and interest in mollusks. And various gross creatures which creep me out. So it was pretty interesting, like, going to the beach. We ended up going to like 3 beaches on our adventures, sometimes incidentally or accidentally ending up on beaches, and Asuzara collecting billions of shells and looking at little creatures. How was the poutine? I had that twice. I went back the next day and got some for breakfast, so it was pretty good. Yes, I did have some poutine. I wish I took a picture of it, but I didn't take a picture of the poutine. But yes, there was a little place next to our hotel that served poutine. Dirty poutine with pastrami in it. It was like a little New York style deli, but had poutine, I guess, because that's more Canadian, isn't it? But anyway, it was like a American style deli or something, but had some delicious poutine. Yes, I had poutine for breakfast. Amy and myself and a few others went out for breakfast, and Amy's like, I'm so hungry. Let's order everything. Amy ordered a massive chicken sandwich with dipping gravy, a hot dog, and the poutine. And she's like, I'm so hungry. She got halfway through our sandwich and she's like, looks at me sadly, sheepishly, Ziggy, I'm full. So I had to eat like 75% of a hot dog, some chicken sandwich, and a plate of poutine. I say had to, I rather enjoyed it. We'll go through our pictures because I can't remember all the wonderful things we did. And the pictures will serve as a little kickstart to my memory. So we're going to spend the first, I don't know how long, of today's stream just reminiscing, doing some show and tell. Would you guys like some show and tell, some pictures? Would you like to learn the dirty secrets of all the other Path of Exile community members and streamers? Does that sound like fun? Let me see if I can find the Alva cosplay. Look at this Alva cosplay! So good. So good. There was, I loved, you sent the dinner picture through Discord. Oh, nice, Amy. Thank you. I might be able to show that. This was Suit Size Small's Alva cosplay, and how good is it? So good. I have to say, just in general, there was so many good cosplays there, and something about cosplay at events like this just fills my heart with joy. I love seeing cosplayers, and seeing so many like awesome Path of Exile cosplayers was fantastic. So definitely some claps for Suit Size Small's very adorable and awesome Alva cosplay. Super cool. Super cool. I think I have some more. Here's a group picture of some, not all of the cosplayers, but we got like Tora, Katarina, Zana. We got 2. Who is she? Junes. 2 Junes, and of course Alva. And there was a few others there. And someone also cosplayed as a small child riding a scooter. I don't recognize that character from Path of Exile, but they were in the thing too. But definitely, round of applause for our cosplayers at Exilecon, bringing the joy to everyone there. Katarina cosplay was terrifying, which I think is completely the idea, and definitely claps for that. Town NPC. Scooter Charts from PoE 2. Yes, yes. So very, very cool. And definitely have to give a special mention to Amy, because she worked so hard on her cosplay. A lot of you guys who have caught Amy's cosplaying crafting streams over the past, like, months. She put hundreds of hours of work into her cosplay, and her Einhard cosplay ended up fantastically. She'll be in a bunch of these pictures, but do I have one I can just pull up at the moment just to give you a bit of a look at a cosplay action? Here's a picture of us together in cosplay. Amy looking kind of saucy there. But look how cool those gloves are. Look how cool the feathers are. Makeup, hair, the feathers, the shoulders, the skirt. It all came together so very well. Amy did a look at that stupid beast. She captured my heart. And she the whole time in the lead up. Amy, I hope you don't mind me telling this, but the whole time in the lead up, she was stressing out. She's like, I didn't have enough of my cosplay done. I wanted to get more done. We're at the hotel, and she was doing some more crafting, and she was so very worried about it. But in the end, it was just such a good cosplay. Very, very cool. Here's a more of a full length Amy cosplay, so you can see like her boots and everything, because like there's like full clawed feet, and hold on, I can get some zoomage here. Full clawed feet and like leg armor. There's the feathered skirt, braces, all that sort of stuff. But this is a picture we got from our signings that we did. We did had some time, a little bit of time to be able to escape from other things to catch up with people. Here's a picture one of the photographers took. So we did some signings. These are the sort of thing I would never arrange for myself, right? Like a meet and greet signing thing. Because I'm like, no one would ever come, you know? I don't know. I would never arrange something like that for myself, but I'm very glad that ZiggyG kind of arranged it for us, because it was... I thought we'd probably met everyone. This is like day 2. I thought we probably would have met everyone who wanted to meet me by this point already, but it turns out lots and lots of people came, so I'm very, very honored and humbled by how many people came to the signings. It was just such a cool experience. Definitely. What was the weirdest thing someone asked you to sign? One person had a massive IAR banner thing, and it was funny to sign because it had like holes in it. It was like kind of, you know, like a basketball shirt style material, had holes in it, so I'm pretty sure I ended up signing the table as well, magically. So that was very fantastic, and here's another photo we got during that. I thought it was pretty awesome. Amy looking very, very intimidating. There's this one picture that Taki took. It's like after Amy gets out of her cosplay, but she still had like her eye makeup on. It's here somewhere. We'll find it. I'll just keep going in the random order that they're in. This is just super, super cool. Let's go! Here is, what was this? Lunch or... No, this was the first dinner, the first kind of... one of the early days. We went to a tapas place and got a big jug of sangria and had a very good time. I think Taki was taking this picture. And Rise had his eyes closed, so Taki drew some dots on there. But that's Nuki. That's our Suzara, Amy, and Rise QT. It was a most enjoyable dinner. We got like a whole bunch of stuff and all shared all the tapas and everything, and it was very good, and some good sangria too. We fiended that sangria. This was in Auckland, yeah. Didn't have a chance to hang out with Noogie too much on those first few days, but I did later on during the trip. And Noogie is so nice. Oh my god, and he's so fashionable too. Like he's always so neatly and smartly. I would say smartly attired. He always looks so good. Noogie is awesome. Here's another thing from a picture from the meet and greet. Had lots. There's Amy enjoying some beef. I think Rich J Money took this picture. Also, that's Ty 23's arm, by the way. I'm pretty sure. I think that's Ty 23's arm. This is Amy enjoying some beef. This was from the first night VIP dinner on Friday evening at I can't remember what it's called, but it's like a Brazilian barbecue place where they just bring bits of meat around, just like slice it onto your plate, and it was pretty good, as you can probably tell by Amy's expression. That's the arm of a champion right there. The name of the restaurant was Wildfire. They booked out the whole thing, man. It was intense. It was a lot of people there for that first VIP dinner. It was crazy. It was intense. It was pretty loud in there. I was sitting next to Havoc trying to get the lowdown on the racing action. It was probably the best chance I had to talk to him before the races, trying to get the lowdown, and he was telling me like all this nuanced, beautiful detail, but I could only hear like every second word because it was so loud there. So I caught a few little snatches and grabs, but it was like the stuff he was telling me was super interesting. But yes, I had a hard time kind of hearing him, unfortunately. This is from the first morning, just before Taki, Kriparian, and I went onto stage to improv comedy for an hour to keep people occupied while everyone took their seats and GGG got set up for the opening keynote. I was late and got lost on the way to the convention. I was like 15 minutes late and they were waiting for me. We were supposed to get a tour around, and I think they had to rush it because of me. So, sorry, Taki and Crip. Sorry, everybody. Sorry, GGG people. Sorry, Rachel. We had Rachel from GGG, who was our handler. She was the streamer wrangler, let's just say. I do not envy her position because she had like a massive notebook of like times everybody had to be in certain places and getting onto their panels, and she did an amazing job. And every time I was supposed to be somewhere, I got lost. Every time I got lost. I got lost on the way to the convention center. I got lost before each of the panels I was supposed to do. I was supposed to meet in certain areas to get ready, and I got lost on the way to all of them. But every time Rachel would find me somehow, she would come to me and take me to the place. She was indeed on fire, so definitely claps for Rachel for wrangling myself and all the other streamers. I have a terrible sense of direction. The opening hour, the idea was we were just supposed to kind of keep people busy for an hour while they were getting the keynote set up. That was one of the more challenging things I've ever had to do, because it was like here occupied people with two other like streamers that I've done some stuff with Taki, but I haven't done too much with Crip, at least in a long time. All three of us have never met in person before. It's like all three of you get on stage and basically do something for an hour to keep people occupied. And that was a very challenging thing to take on. We did meet up a little bit beforehand and come up with some plans. We had some ideas about what we were going to do for it. I think some people weren't, happy with the whole thing. It was maybe a little awkward at times, but I think we did an alright job. I think I did an alright job. Taki and Crip were fantastic at swooping in whenever I was about to like mentally blank on something that I wanted to say. Whenever there was about to be an awkward silence, one of them swooped in and saved us. So I think hopefully it was good. I think the idea of having that before the keynote was maybe a mistake. In the future, this is what I would recommend to Chris, and I'll probably tell him this later, like a feedback thing I do or something. I would recommend them just like not have nothing, just have like a splash screen, and then just fade in to Chris walking on stage.
Hi, I'm Chris Wilson from Grinding Gear Games.
Firework explosions go off, smoke swoops in, metal starts playing, and then Chris goes into the keynote.
We're really proud to finally reveal Path of Exile 4.0.
The gods are dead.
That's what I reckon would probably be the way to do it in the future, instead of having a little ramble sesh beforehand, because the ramble sesh is like a little bit anti-hype, I think. But it sounds like some of you guys enjoyed it anyway, so I'm glad. The hour after it, when we were like, after we had seen the keynote, and we had plenty to talk about, and that was much easier. It was a very challenging but very rewarding experience. All of the on stage, on stream stuff that I did for this were very challenging but rewarding experiences, and felt like I've grown a lot as a presenter out of this experience, which is just something I very, very much value. So the opportunity to be able to do that stuff is fantastic, and I'm very appreciative of GGG, Chris, Jonathan, Bex, Rachel, everyone who organized that, and the community for putting trust in me to do those things. Because I got to do a lot of things. You know, we did the opening thing. We did the post thing. Sat down with Crip on stage for a while and talked about the game. Did the mobile phone demonstration and the racecast, of course, with the Rise QT. So there's a lot of stuff, and I really, really enjoyed all of them. And they each presented unique and interesting challenges for me to... And that's something when I'm making, like, content, having, like, new challenging things to take on is very, very enjoyable. None of us had any... Like, they didn't tell us anything that we had to do or say. It was all very free reign. It's like, you will have half an hour to sit down with Chris or Jonathan or so-and-so. And you can kind of do that however you want. They gave everyone who did that stuff a very, like, free reign on all of it. And that shows, I think, a lot of confidence on their part, a lot of, like, passion for their game and stuff, because normally an event like this, things would be highly, highly scripted. And the only, like, scripted stuff was, like, you know, Chris presenting specific information that he had, like, a script, like, some stuff that he wrote to follow. Everything else was, like, full organic, and I think that resulted in, at times, awkwardness, cringiness, but at the same time, very, very genuine, which is, I think, very, very nice. This is me talking and Crip on stage. I think it's just a screen grab from the stream even, maybe. But, like, I'm just saving this stuff because it's just cool to remember. We did that. This is a picture I grabbed from off stage, so you guys who didn't go to the event can kind of see what its setup was like. They had, like, some, like, screen feeds things here and the desks and lots of lighting, so we couldn't really see anything outside of there, but they had this huge tree that was like 3 stories tall, actually 3-story tree, with corpses and stuff hanging from it in the background. It was pretty epic. This was during, I think, Bay class? We're about to get executed. So cool. So this was before Exilecon. Amy just looking at me and Rise being doofuses. Was a common trend, I think. We went to a small town that I cannot recall the name of. We didn't have a clear idea of what we wanted to do there, and I think most of the time we just ended up chilling and hanging out on the beach. This was probably like the area we went to where we didn't end up doing too many specific things, but just kind of like organically explored, and it was very pleasurable. Very pleasurable. Why is Ziggy so tiny? I'm like average to short, and Rise is quite tall, yes. Is Rise falling over that balcony? Yes, he did fall down the mountain just after this picture was taken. Paihia, this was at. This was at Paihia. And we went to dinner down here in this building. There was like a steakhouse place there. I haven't laughed as hard as I did hanging out with Rise, Asazar, and Amy than I have in like many years. I laughed harder than I have in many, many years. This was on one of the beaches we ended up. I say one because we ended up on a lot of beaches. We ended up collecting a lot of sea glass for Amy, and Asazara ended up collecting lots and lots of shells because she has a keen interest in the animal kingdom, zoology, and fiercely, we would all collect shells, hand them to Asazara, and we'd all collect sea glass and hand them to Amy. But I like some of these pictures like this that are just us randomly doing things. Not posed and stuff, are some of my favorite pictures. It's just like, I think this is Rise showing me a piece of sea glass that he found, and I'm like, oh, that's a good one. And yes, Amy's pooping on the beach. Sorry, Ames. It was a cookie and whatever you call these little things. And I feasted on it. It was pretty big cookie. It doesn't look super big in the picture, but it was big enough that all 4 of us had a bit of a crack at it. Occasionally, I would be a jerk and just take random candid pictures, like selfies, where I was posing for the selfie, but everyone else was just doing something random. I love them. It's such a jerk thing to do, but I just love them. It's like Asazara focusing on taking a picture, kind of like trying to see Amy and Rise sharing a joke or having a laugh. I just love these pictures. I'm just like, no one else knows I'm taking a selfie with them. I love it. And on the flip side, here's one I think Amy took of us. I think I was sharing the memes, or maybe even showing them that picture that I took. But I love these because they're just such real genuine moments, right? There was a very picturesque bridge in Paihia that we both ended up taking turns taking photos on. But look at this. Look at this, like, covered tree branch across the entire frame, like, perfectly framing the picture on the bridge. Like, you can't... Like, you just don't find shit like that, right? Like, look how perfectly that picture is framed. Like, it's fucking gorgeous, right? That's gorgeous. Perfect bridge for a proposal. Dude, yeah, you could have, like, a gorgeous, like, proposal picture there, absolutely. Oh, here's the... I don't see the stars, but I see the Rise photoshopped picture. Okay, check out this picture, ready? Okay, look how photoshopped it looks. Rise looks like he's not in the picture, right? Like, it looks like he's been photoshopped over the top of it. Of course I didn't have this photo, because I didn't make it on this trip. Amy, Noogie, Rise, Asuzara, and... I think that was all, went on this walking to a waterfall, and Taki and I were gonna, like, Amy was like, okay, so hold on, the whole story. Firstly, appreciate, look at, like, that photo looks real, unreal, right? Like, it doesn't look real. He looks like he's a giant that's been photoshopped into the picture. He was taking a break up the hill, yeah. So they all went to Kite Falls, right? So this was Amy's plan. Amy's ridiculous. She does this sort of stuff all the time. Amy's like, okay, we don't have enough seats in the car, but we all want to go out to this beautiful waterfall / bushwalk at Kite. And she's like, okay, I'll drive everyone except Ziggy and Taki, who stay behind. I'll drive them all out there, then I'll come back and get Ziggy and Taki, and then I'll take them there, and then we'll do our walk and waterfall, swim and all that jazz. And then I'll bring some people back and then go back to the waterfall, and then, and then come back again, and then bring everyone else back. So two trips in each direction, right? That's what Amy's idea was. Guess, chat, how long the drive was between where we were and where this waterfall / bushwalk was. Guess. How reasonable do you think Amy's plan was? 15 minutes? See, 15 minutes not bad, right? I see 45 minutes. You guys are pretty close. 50 minutes. It was a 50-minute drive. She would have done 4 50-minute drives to get everyone there. It was an hour 17, apparently. No, wait, what? It was an hour 17? Never mind, it was like an hour 20. Okay, shit. So Amy's just like, yeah, that's completely reasonable. I will spend over 4 hours driving to get everyone there and back. That's Amy being so very self-sacrificial and trying to make sure everyone else have a good time. So she went out there with them, and then Taki and I realized, this is ridiculous. Kel Jahan, thank you for the 39-month sub, mate. You would have done it. She would have done it. Yeah, she would have done it. She was going to. We had to convince her not to. So Taki and I are back in the city, and we're like, hold up. This is completely ridiculous. Amy is being a loon. So Taki and I tell Amy, no, you stay there, have a good time. Taki and I will hang out in the city. And we did. We went shopping. And that black sweater I was wearing on the first day streams, which I thought was a very nice black sweater, actually. This sweater here was a sweater I bought while shopping with Taki. We went clothes shopping. Taki is a very fashionable lad, and he took me around a bunch of clothes. We got some cookies, some hot, fresh cookies. I introduced him to Anzac cookies, or Anzac biscuits, which are an Australian, New Zealand delicacy. But it was still a great time. Taki and I hung out. We went for many bathroom breaks. We touched penises. Just normal things. Just normal things. We bonded. This is Amy and Noogie on the Kite waterfall walk. I love this picture. I don't know why, I just love it. It's just so chill. Noogie and Amy just having a walk. It's so sweet. Noogie bringing multiple umbrellas, apparently, in case people get rained on, because he's a nice lad. Me and Alva, once again, suit size small. Very awesome, I showed this one earlier. Me and Amy, cute photos. There's a few cute photos of me and Amy in here. Hope you don't mind, chat. This was the ridiculous cards that I made for the to give out to people at Exilecon. I ended up handing out about like 40 of these, I think. For when people like came up to say hi and they didn't have anything. They came to the signing, but they didn't have anything to get signed. I was like, yeah, one of this. And also just randomly gave out some. Many of them were unique and had unique messages. They will be worth billions of dollars in the future. The story behind these was, so these were like terribly, horribly handcrafted, Amy used her Cricut to cut the black sections, but I hand cut the red sections and hand glued them. I actually ended up hand gluing a lot of them at the signing because I didn't have enough time to do them all. So they all have my DNA on them, by the way. And yes, they'll be worth billions of dollars soon. So yeah, if you got one of those, cherish it forever. You better. Nice. Picture. This is a picture from in the big screen. Okay, so the race. The race was like such a fantastic and challenging experience. Very unfamiliar like setup to cast in. However, I will say that both Rise and I loved casting in person with each other. It was so much better than casting online because you can like not only like do not accidentally talk over the top of each other all the time, but you can actually talk over each other in a normal way, like you're doing conversations normally, and it feels so much more organic. So it was really, really nice casting with Rise in person. So the setup was we were out on the streamer stage, which is a completely different room, and we couldn't hear anything from in the main stage. We were supposed to, and later they fixed it, but initially we couldn't hear anything from the main stage. So we didn't know how many people were watching the race, whether the crowd was getting amped, whether the crowd was cheering, or even like what was going on when they did the restart. So that was all very, very interesting. But I learned, and I went and watched the VOD later, I learned that during it that the crowd was super hype and that also the live stream picked up the crowd really well, which I think is just so good because I hate at these like esports events when you can't hear the crowd and it's like you just hear like some little in the background and it's like really lame. They picked up the crowd and the crowd's hype really well. So finding that out later, that the crowd was really supportive of the races and got really excited about everything and was cheering and everything, it made me so very happy. So awesome, awesome job everyone who was in there supporting the race and supporting the races and everything like that. We all of us who are kind of like pretty into the racing scene, we know Ty23 is just like really good and practices really hard, right? But a lot of people, he can't stream. He had terrible computer, bad internet, couldn't stream, suffered from all that. And a lot of people are like, oh, you must be cheating, right? He wins every race and he doesn't stream. That's very suspicious. He's got to be cheating, right? So everyone's always saying that. So I'm glad that at the event, Ty23 just showed how much of an actual like racing god he is. And I learned after the race that in the, I think, 7 weeks leading up to the event, he spent 8 hours a day practicing. Pretty much every day for 7 weeks, I think it was. So, that's to put things in perspective for you. That was his level of practice that he put into it. And it really, like, if you go back and watch some of his gameplay, I paid a bit more attention second time watching the race VOD. Even just look at, like, his mouse movement is so precise. He looks like a professional Osu player or something, right? Like, you see those, like, ridiculous Guitar Hero pros with the beautiful timing and precision and everything like that. Like, just some of that stuff, just, like, everything he does is, like, so smooth. So, yeah, just huge amounts of practice. He lives it. And that was in the context of seeing a fucking godly amount of improvement for Havoc's gameplay. Havoc's always been like a classic racer, a good racer. But he practiced a shitload as well and did a lot of like refinement and really like intelligent improvements to his gameplay. And seeing like some of his earlier racing compared to seeing him at the event there racing, he was so good. Havoc was so good. And yet Ty23 still beat him by like 4 minutes or something. It was incredible. So yeah, I was really glad to see that. And I think that more than anything shows people just that racing in PoE is like legit, right? That's legit. That's not just all down to RNG or anything like that. Because, like, Ty23 didn't really get any crazy drops or anything. He barely picked up gear. He barely looked at gear. He didn't even look at the bosses dying. And yet he was still so good because he knows exactly the bare minimum of stuff that he needs, and then he just gets that, including not even picking up extra flasks because he doesn't want to spend the extra second that it takes to do that because he doesn't need to.
Holy moly, that damage.
That was absolutely insane. I was wondering if they're maybe going to be picking up a flamethrower trap and rotating their abilities, something. Nope. Just. Oh, he doesn't even look at him. He didn't even look him in the eyes. What?
Kills him while basically leaving the zone at the same time.
Turns it.
How good is the crowd sounds as well? Like, that's what I meant. The stream picks up the crowd sounds so well as well. I think after the race, because Ty23, Ty Killer and Havoc are there. Yes, this is when I went and got poutine. Who we got here? We got Rise hiding behind Noogie there. There's Noogie. We got Havoc. We got Steel Mage. We got Tai Killer, Amy, Asuzara, me, and then there's Taki Cat's shirt. I blocked Taki in the photo. Oh god. I think Taki and I have like a bit of... See, he's like British and I'm Australian, and I think have a bit of like, we kind of like give each other some shit back and forth, you know, where they're like criminal scum that they sent away from their country to Australia. So there's a bit of back and forth, you know, we like to troll each other a little bit. It's all in good fun, you know. So, so yes, I blocked Taki in the phone. There was a little bit of shenaniganry and stream of drama during the event. During some of the like signing, people got their art books signed, and you can see here that Rise QT signed the art book, and then Taki wrote Rise QT smells next to him, so I wrote Squawk underneath Taki. Some spicy drama. This is one of the many beaches that we ended up on during our little foursome adventures that we did prior to the event. This beach was very like Twilight Strand. I have some more photos I'll show you here, but just a very cute group picture. This is the same beach. I get real Twilight Strand vibes here, right? You guys feel it? Like some Twilight Strand vibes here, especially once you see some of the other pictures here. Like, look how pretty this shit is. This is like right at just after sunset, and you like see the moon there in the sky, and the colors. There's Rise picking up a shell for Asuzara. Rise is indeed Hillock. There's Amy sleeping in a rock. When we went to the glowworm caves, Amy was pretty tired. She'd done so much driving on this trip. She drove us all around, did probably, I don't know, a couple dozen hours of driving. And Amy is sleeping in a rock. It looks like a comfy rock. She's pretty cozy in there. I ended up sitting on her, which was a bit less cozy. Oh, such a cute picture though. Hold on, I gotta go out of order a little bit here because I gotta show some same pictures from that earlier beach. All right, here's some more pictures from the beach here. This is the Twilight Strand beach. That's me in my Path of Exile jumper looking like a badass. But how pretty is it? Fuck, it's so pretty. There's me. I'm like, I can totally lift that piece of driftwood. I was not able to lift that piece of driftwood. The sand would not relinquish its grasp. So instead I'm like, yeah, stupid driftwood. Exerted my dominance by walking on it instead. And there's Rise. I don't know. I don't know, but I love these random pictures like this though. These are some of my favorites. It's just like hanging out. But as you can tell, there indeed was a driftwood club. And if Rise was Hillock, he was very intimidated by my driftwood club action. Pretty good stick. Also, just how good is Rise? Like, this is like a perfect reaction picture, right? Like, I ain't touching that. I ain't touching that. His face swinging the driftwood club. Rise's face though. His eyes bopping. He's like, whoa, calm down, buddy. I took this picture. How fucking sick is this picture? So this was at Hobbiton, and Rise is feeding a bird. There was this little bird jumped on the table, and he was trying to give it some like little pastry crumbs. And look at it, man. This picture's sick. I got the snap right as the bird was about to like pick up the crumb out of his hand. Rise going full Disney princess mode here, but also like really intense stare, right? Like,
grab the fucking crumbs, you little coward.
It's pretty intense, right? It's such a good photo. Oh, I should be a professional photographer, right? How sick is this picture? I don't think I need to explain this photo. Chat, what do you think's going on in this photo? Did you fart? What? No, chat. Why would you go that way? Oh my god. Wow, everyone's like, Ziggy farted. Thanks, chat. Thanks. Come on, chat. This is Rise and Asuzara being like, damn, that booty. Checking out my booty, obviously. Or I farted, I guess, one of those.
Either you ripped ass or they're staring at your driftwood club.
You guys are the worst. I present for you this picture. Just a bit of fun, you know? Just a bit of fun. This is more Hobbiton pictures here. Rise and I spying that table of cheese. I think we're getting a little hungry at this point. We're like, look at us. Like, oh dang, the cheese. It wasn't real though. Can Rise go into the Hobbit houses? You'll find out in just a second. At Hobbiton, we had some lunch from the Green Dragon. We got some pies and pastries and stuff from the Green Dragon. Very enjoyable. As you can see, Rise and Asazara enjoying their Hobbiton foods. I'm no beast of burden. And this was at the cheese thing. I was trying to find out if any of the cheese was real. I was trying to get some of it. It was glued down to the table. I couldn't pick it up. Rise was like, come on, sir, you've had enough. It looks like he's about to pull me away. Looks like he's about to pull me away. Maybe he's loving it. There's Amy enjoying some sandwich. And for those of you asking, can Rise fit into the Hobbit house? Yes, he can. There he is. His little head poking out over the door. But it was very rainy, as it often was in New Zealand. You'll see us in raincoats pretty often. There's some very, very moist pictures later on. Yeah, this is entrance to the Cavern of Wrath.
Oh, you found the halitosis glyph, I see.
It kind of does look like that. Lucia, thanks for the bits, mate. Did you get them to try LMP? I did, yes. I had several LMPs, and I did convince Rise to try some LMP, and he's like, "Oh, that's pretty nice. That's pretty nice." I have to tell you about Rise QT, right? I should probably tell you about the streamers I met. You guys want to know. You want to know the goss. What are they like in real life? That's not what people usually want to know. It's like, is Rise cool in real life? Is he grumpy in real life like he is on stream? No, he's very not grumpy, actually. He's very not grumpy. Rise is a living, breathing meme lord. That's my one-sentence summary of Rise QT. He lives and he breathes memes. All right, so Rise QT is a living, breathing meme lord. Allow me to expand. Just constantly, Rise is, in real life, spamming memes. He taught me the coconut song. He would just randomly be singing, like, the coconut tree, the coconut family. I don't know, random coconut song and shit like that. He's just, like, IRL spamming memes constantly, and I fucking loved it. He is my kind of people. I found it very entertaining and very freeing, because often I am like that, and it was nice to have someone else like that to hang out with. So it was really, really enjoyable hanging out with him. And I think we both made each other laugh so very much during the trip. And so many precious memories. Rise is an absolute pleasure to hang out with, and he's actually very nice and pleasant in real life, and not a grumpy bastard like he is sometimes on the stream. No comment. We had a good time. I would just like to point out that this stupid thing where you're supposed to take photos is really dumb, because look, right? It works with the bee, but with the kiwi, it's got a mouth on the picture, right? Like its mouth is here, but then you got another mouth. It doesn't work, right? It doesn't work with a kiwi. Look at it, see? Here's Rise's mouth, and there's the kiwi's mouth. That really triggers me. Stupid sign. Bloody kiwi logic. We randomly ended up in possession of a limited edition Alpha Quinn 69 signed packet of tissues. Hold on, I gotta show you the real version. This is none other than the man, the myth, the legend, Slippery Jim. The embodiment of Still Sane Exile. This guy is the reason why the new upcoming expansion features Zana locking the exiles away in maps, because she's afraid of what we've become. Slipper Jim is the embodiment of that. We farmed 10,000 photos, and I think this was the one that allowed me even partially in the frame. But yes, I found him. This is Tie Killer. This is Amy. I love this picture. How good is it? Contrast. This is Chris battling a conga line of card game players. I'm sad I didn't get to play the card game. There was simply no time whatsoever for me to play the card game, but people loved it. It was insane, the card gaming action. It was like a league start with like groups of people working together to like try and take down Shaper World first and stuff like that. There was a guy with like a signed solo self-found world first Shaper kill signed by Chris Wilson. He got the first solo self-found kill and stuff like that. It was insane. We went for a walk in a redwood forest, and I found a scene straight out of a horror movie. Rise QT building his murder shack out in the woods. Terrifying. Let me turn up the scary music. Did you survive? No, I died. We die not with a... We go out not with a bang, but with a... So, it was pouring rain the day that we were going to go luging in the morning. It was pouring rain. So Amy and Asazara are like, let's go out to the redwoods and go for a walk in the forest. Rise and me were like, Asazara, contrary to this photo, actually had a pretty good time. Rise and me were like trudging. I trudged. I was a very moist boy. I trudged through the wet rainforest, moistily. And I actually had a pretty good time, but it was very wet and cold. Amy, during this whole thing, was like running around excited, a little bundle of sunshine in her orange raincoat. She had a great time. I don't know what's going on here. Amy looks like she's like...
You look like you're about to drop the dankest folk a cappella album in the Southern Hemisphere.
Thanks for the 100 bits, Lucio. Yo. I think we had a few good album cover images come out of this. I did a jump to puff out my poncho. I'm a glompus. Oh, right. Amy like jumped up and caught wind in her poncho. She's going flying. I got sunscreen in my eyes I think after that walk. This was after that walk. It like cleared up and was sunny. I got sunscreen in my eyes and they were burning fiercely. And I was dying, and like people from the shops were coming out and being like, "Do you need help?" And Rise is like, "Asazara, get the juice, squirt the juice in his eyes." And she's like, I'm trying. She's like fumbling in her bag, and I'm like, my eyes. I was like going blind. And I did not know about this, but I think Amy snapped a picture of Asazara squirting juice in the eyes. How'd you get sunscreen in your eyes? I had it like on my face and hands. And then like from the rain and the water and stuff, I think it ended up like dripping into my eyes. And I ended up rubbing my eyes at lunch and getting in my eyes, and I was dying. It actually happened to like 3 of us on that trip at various times. So Asazara to the rescue here, squirting some juice in my eyes. Saved. So thank you, Asazara, for saving my life, saving my eyesight. We went to a volcanic region. Amy probably knows the names because I'm terrible with names. We went to a volcanic region here, and there was like a bunch of different colored like water things from the different like minerals and stuff that seep into the water. And look at this place. It's like full it was like full radiant green glow, and it was pretty cloudy. In the sun, it apparently glows even more, but it's like straight out of like Fallout, right? Like radioactive pond. Chug, chug, chug. Forbidden Kool-Aid. Drink the forbidden Kool-Aid. I touched some. Awkward. There was Waiatapu was apparently the sulfur area we went to, the volcanic region. This was someplace we went to, and there was ducks, and I was trolling the ducks. I was like grabbing bits of leaf and being like, hey ducks, I got food. They'd come over and be like, that's not food. And then I was like wriggling my fingers like this, and the little baby ducks pecked my hand. I was a monster. It's alright. I got plenty of food from other people. Did they have any grapes? No, there was no grapes, sadly. So they waddled away. So in the caves here, they're like really crazy. They look really, really crazy. There's stalagmites and everything. that gets formed from the water drips. It's like real waxy looking because it's just like pure mineral, some sort of mineral. I can't remember. I'm not an expert on this, but they were pretty crazy, and they form some really weird. Like structures. So not only do they form the classic spikes, but also like these things are called cave bacon. they're known as cave bacon, and they look exactly like fabric, like sheets of fabric hanging on the wall. So it just like formed like a wave will kind of like come through some cracks or something and just kind of like rush along, and just after thousands of years build this entire like fabric curtain looking formation. Cave bacon. Crazy. Like I was pretty blown away by those things. Sammy and Astas are hugging a kiwi. Poor kiwi had its nose stuck in the ground. Oh, how did that picture get in here? I sadly didn't get to see as much Maori cultural things as I wanted to see, but we did go to one place just randomly, and they had these fantastic carvings here of like notable leaders and warriors from Maori history. And that's some like historical stuff there. So these carvings, like every little bit in the carving represents some aspect of their character, and it's just really fascinating. Like this guy, for example, had a pet eel. that's what this is. He's carved with his pet eel, like crazy cool, so cool. I'm like in love with like the Maori culture and art and everything like that. It's like really fascinating to me. Was it the top dude? No, Ziggy, the top dude had a pet eel? Oh, who had the pet eel? This guy? Up here? It might not be the picture, I don't know. But yeah, one of them had a pet eel, which is, I don't even know how to explain that one. It didn't go into more detail except the fact that he had a pet eel. But this guy in the middle here was a very famous warrior, and look at him, he's such an absolute unit. But their poses and the things they're holding and things like that are all very like signifiers of different aspects of their personality. Like this guy had a weapon behind his back, which in some cultures would be like being kind of like shifty and dodgy, hiding a weapon behind your back. But for him, it was like humility that he wouldn't like be brandishing his weapon in front of him, but he would be like having it behind his back, ready to throw down if necessary, but not like looking for it. So it was like different aspects of the character and stuff like that in the carvings, which is just very cool. This is an example of New Zealand not looking real. This looks like a Windows desktop background, doesn't it? It doesn't look like that's really there. I think this is in the bus. Hobbiton. I've got some random photos in here. Just some random photos. New Zealand looking beautiful. Freaking rolling hills and bullshit. So pretty. So goddamn pretty. Here's a picture for scale of Amy and Rise in front of one of the Hobbit burrows. I see. I think this might have been Asuzara's picture, or was this? I don't know. One of us put a finger over. Probably me. Put a finger over the photo. Classic. There's me bumping my head on the Hobbit roof. Do you have a tattoo? If you have, what do you have? No, I don't have a tattoo. I have a wicked bruise on my arm, though. I have no idea how I got it, but check out this bruise. I have no idea how I got that. You ever just get random bruises and have no idea how you got them? No, I don't have any tattoos, though. While everyone else is having fun and taking photos, me being shafted with holding. Bag stand, Ziggy, holding all the bags. While everyone else got fun group photos together. Expelled from the group. Everyone else having a good time, except Ziggy. Me. Here's another picture from our rainy forest walk. As I told you, these are completely out of order. Raya's laughing at me just being a soggy boy. I kind of had fun, but I was I trudged. This is the same walk, same moist walk after it started to stop raining. The water here is like phenomenal, like crazy. It's like super clear despite having so much rotting like forest debris in it. I don't know how that happens, but it's super clear. Like look at it. It's like bright blue and super clear. Some of it, I know, New Zealand being fake once again. Everything in New Zealand's fake, right? Like none of it's real. Everything looks so surreal in New Zealand, right? Like that doesn't look real, right? It's so fake. But some of the sections, because we walked around quite a bit of this, some of the sections look straight out of that New Zealand, like the Lord of the Rings scene with like the ghosts in the water through the marshes, you know? I was like, it kind of looks like that. I'm like, oh damn, don't look too close, they'll pull you in. It looks Photoshop. I know, right? New Zealand's so surreal. A lot of it looks so like Photoshopped. It's crazy. Amy was a bundle of energy during this forest trudge. So for you guys asking how tall Rise is, he's this guy is supposed to be like this is for the luge, the downhill luging. This is 1.1 meters for reference. So Rise is leaning a bit here. So he's probably about that, but I think he's about 1.1 meters tall. So we went to Rotorua, has a downhill luge, which is like downhill go-karts. They're like vehicles and you like steer around down the hill. Super fun. Ridiculously fun. The first, we did 5 rides, and the first 4 were pretty chill. But then the final one, we went full savage. We went flat out. It was all competition. All 4 of us, me, Amy, Rise, and Asuzara, we were flooring it down the hill. And Rise had been losing all day, so we let him start first. And I wanted the pleasure of being able to overtake him. But I'll tell you what, he wasn't faster than me, but Rise is a ruthless tactician. I tell you what. Because he would not let me pass him. I was trying at every corner to like go wide, cut in tight, try and sneak up. I tried to overtake him several times, blocked me every time. We're like on down this thing, smashing it down the hill, full race mode, full race pace, determining which of the caster is the better racers. He's blocking me ruthlessly this whole time. I was definitely just gunning for it, trying to overtake him. Maybe 4 or 5 times tried to overtake him. The final time, I'm like, all right, I'm really going to test him. Sick bend coming up. I'm gunning it down the hill, right? I'm gaining on him. We're coming up to the bend. It's an inside bend like this. I'm like, okay, let's test. How far is Rise willing to go to stop me from beating him? So I cut in on the inside of him, right? On the inside of the bend. The bend's like this. I cut in on the inside. I wedge myself in there. I'm gunning it. I'm about to overtake him. I'm about halfway lined up with his cart. Rise sees me. He's like, oh shit. You know what he does? How ruthless do you expect Rise to be? What will he do to win? Turns out he'll do anything. He rams into me, full pelt, rams into me, smashes me right into the corner, right onto the bend, wedges me in, so he cuts in like this, the corner's there, sandwiches me against the corner, basically bringing me to a complete stop as he goes around the front of me. Turns out Rise will do whatever it takes to win. He may not be the fastest racer, but he will not let you pass. So that's he won the race. He won the race in the end. I didn't think he'd do it. I didn't think he'd fully ram me. You're not supposed to ram on these. You're not supposed to bump into each other. It's not bumper cars. But that might have been how I got that bruise, actually, come to think of it. But it turns out Rise will do whatever it takes. And you know what? I got to admire that. I got to give it to him. He won. He'll do whatever it takes. So that's the race. That's the race. Yeah. Here's me and Amy taking a very adorable picture of myself and Amy and Rise and Asuzara on the chairlifts back up to the top of the mountain to do some more luging. Very beautiful photo. We thought I'd get Rise and Asuzara in the frame. And there's Rise giving you the finger. Fuck you, Rise. I was trying to take a nice picture, buddy. I had to go and ruin it. No Rise video? No, sadly. Maybe we should have cracked out the GoPros. You can't really take photos or hold your camera phone up on the luges because you're like full on, racing it. So yeah, no photos. If I did it again, we would definitely bring out the GoPro helmet mounted camera or something. Because it would have been pretty epic. But that whole race, like Amy and Asuzara are racing and they're like right behind us. They were ready to overtake us because me and Rise are too busy like ramming into each other and everything. They would have like overtaken us, except Rise is blocking the entire road. But I just hear Amy and Asuzara just like cracking up laughing behind us during that whole race. Laughing at us, like trying to fight each other. So here we are at the Volcanic Fields that we went to, Wyotopu or something. Beautiful place, crazy like colorful water and like volcanic steam and like bubbling and all that sort of stuff. Basically full lava fields. Really beautiful place. Smells so good. Just imagine like an 8-day-old hot egg sandwich that's been sitting in someone's moist underpants on a blistering, hot, sweaty day after an hour of walking. And then imagine vaporizing that in the world's largest e-cigarette. And then just someone sucking in the hugest cloud and just blowing it right down your nostrils. That is what an experience this place was. And I was just like, I'm about experiences, right? Smell fucking awful there. So it's really bad. And so many of them smell so different too. There's so many unique bouquets of fragrances. It's a Mistwalker, thank you for the 3-month sub, mate. It smelled so awful there. But I'm a man about experiences, right? So I'm like, I'm going there, I'm being like, okay, this is disgusting. Getting a full whiff, right? Having like a full just experience of it. Just letting it into my body. Because I just like to experience as many different experiences as I can in my life. So I'm loving it. Rise is dying the whole time. He's like, like nearly vomiting. He's like freaking out. He's sweating. I can see sweat pouring out of him. he was struggling. I'll tell you what. Like beautiful stuff. This was the biggest kind of like mistiest and worst smelling section of it. And there's these huge clouds of vaporized. That smell I was describing, that just becomes vapor, like thick fog. You can feel it on your skin. And occasionally the wind changes directions and you can end up right in the middle of it. But like, how beautiful is it though? And I'm like, come on, Rise. We have to get right inside of it. There's this one section of the path where the wind was blowing over and huge clouds of this rank-smelling egg fog is just just wafting right there. So I'm like, buddy, we have to go inside of it. And he's like, no. Eventually convinced him, so we wander right into the middle of it. And I cannot possibly describe the full-bodied experience. I cannot possibly describe it. It was like it became part of us. You could feel it seeping into all of your pores. It felt like the thickest possible, or like if you could breathe water, that's what it felt like inhaling it. I could feel it. My clothes felt moist. I could feel it dripping off my body. My glasses were fogged up. I couldn't see a thing. We're in the thick of this massive cloud. And we're all dying, but it's so funny that we're laughing so hard that we're like gasping for breath. And because we're laughing so hard that we're gasping for breath during this, we're inhaling thick mouthfuls of it. And you can feel it on your tongue. You can taste it. And Amy fumbled out and got her phone out to like capture kind of, this is like after the end, after we've been probably in this cloud for about a solid minute, just dying of laughter. This is a bit loud, but there's a bit of like, yeah, scratchy there. So good. We're all just dying. That was like right at the end. We've started to recover. Real Evan Miner, thank you very much for the 3-month sub, mate. Can you explain the fog? Yeah, it's volcanic region, so it's like, I guess like surface heat and lava or whatever boiling the water. The water's like really hot. Some of it's like 100 degrees Celsius or close there too. So it's actually fully boiling, and some of it's even like bubbling away and everything. So it's just really hot and the water's evaporating, and the water carries with it like heaps of sulfur and other things in the air, which is what gives it like a really full, intense smell. This is Wyotopu, I think. The area is Rotorua, And there's a whole bunch of these you can go to. But this one was the best, because we've been to another one before. It was pretty good, but this was amazing. This place is amazing. I think it was, yeah, Amy posted a link, Waiotapu. Waiotapu. It's fantastic. If you're in New Zealand, go there. It's such an experience. It's really beautiful, but the best experience, though, is experiencing just the full smell, getting in amongst the clouds. But I showed a picture earlier that was like, some of there's like they're called like rainbow ponds or something, because there's like some really, really colorful water there as well. Like I showed this one earlier. This water here is just like bright glowing green, and on a sunny day apparently it glows, like it's like much brighter. This was quite cloudy. There's like all these different colors, shades of different colors here, and that's just like, I've never seen like water that color before. It's just vibrant, like looks like radioactive waste. Looking at the website, it's actually not that safe. I think someone has like fallen in and died. Yes, it's very hot. Yeah, you definitely you don't want to be falling in or climbing in or anything. But good times though, very good times, but very, very pretty. Very, very pretty. Here's myself, Rise, and Jonathan, just after the race restart. Jonathan explaining to us what went down and sharing some memes. Amy grabbed some pictures of us. There's us getting amped during the race cast. Whoa! And this picture was supposed to just be a private picture for my own personal use. It's not supposed to be in there, I don't believe. Oh, that's the video. And there's Amy enjoying some beef once again. I missed the race. What was the restart about? When they first started the race, some of the players had maps revealed because they'd done some testing and then didn't clear the map cache, so the map data had saved. So they had explored maps. GGG realized, stepped in, and restarted the race, which was a good move. This was at the VIP dinner at Jonathan's house. This is a group photo they took. Me and Mathil bonded during this photo. As I said, I didn't have too much chance to talk with Mathil, but when they were taking the group photo, I'm like, "Come on, buddy." To Mathil, I was like, "Come on, buddy. Let's go down the front," because we're both not super tall. But and he says, "It's okay, Ziggy. I've been through this before. I know what's up." So we went down the front. Me, Mathil, and Quinn, and Amy all went down the front. It was pretty awesome. That was very, very cool. And Jonathan's barbecue, the stuff of legends, delicious and very efficient. He had a spreadsheet of like down to each minute of each food, when it had to go on, how long it would take to cook, when it had to come off, where it had to be, who had to be doing what was in the oven, what was on the barbecue, what was in the deep fryer. He showed me the spreadsheet at the end, and I'm like, "You've got a problem here." I was like trying to critique his spreadsheet, because I know how much pride he takes in his spreadsheet. So I was trying to be a jerk, and I was like, the spreadsheet could be a little better, Jonathan. I was like, "You see how you've got an oven column here? This is along the same columns as the people, and therefore there's no way of telling in the spreadsheet who is supposed to be managing the oven things, because if they're in the oven column, you don't know who it's attributed to." Jonathan was like, "Yeah, you're right. You gotta just kind of know," and then he goes, "But I've got this other tab here." And he had like 4 other tabs of detailed data. He like clicks over to this other tab with like, tons of data and stuff for his dinner spreadsheeting. Oh god, he had like 4 tabs of data. And I'll tell you what, it was very efficient. I was like, "How long were your time estimates for the barbecue? For how long everything had to be like tied up within?" He's like, 2 hours. And I'm like, "What?" And how'd you go on the day? He's like, 1:40. Oh, dang. 20 minutes under par on his barbecuing. So efficient. So efficient. The only spreadsheet that was more dramatic was the card game spreadsheet. It was good meeting you at Exilecon, Quinn. We sat on the back of a bus. We're in the back seat of the bus, like with all the cool kids. Quinn and myself, and Mathil and Amy, all the cool kids on the back of the bus. And Quinn was furiously doing something with his phone. I think it involved Pokemon. And he asked for my help, so I helped him lose. It was good. It was good. In true Australian versus Kiwi fashion, we gave each other some shit. Good times were had. I'll tell you this, since I'm spreading all the streamer drama, and I know you guys want to know, what are they like in real life? What are the streamers like in real life? Are they just like they are on stream? Are they different? I will say this for Quinn. He is exceedingly genuine. He is exactly like he is on his stream. For better and for worse. he's just exactly like you'd imagine from his stream. Is Mathel as pretty in person as he is on stream? Continuing the streamer rap session, I only had a very brief chance to meet Mathel. Didn't get to spend too much time with him, but I will say this: he is quite breathtaking in person. It is true. And Mathel is he has a quiet, chill presence. He has a quiet and chill presence. While everyone else is like, you know, super excited, super amped, being very loud, you know, I'm there like, you know, trying to get all the attention on me. I don't know. Quinn's there being like, wah! Doing Quinn noises. Mathel's just like, he's just chill. And he's like, and every now and then he just kind of like cracks him with a little line. And it's like, oh dang. Get some sig burn in or something like that. So, yes, Mathel was a pretty chill guy. Yeah, I only had a brief chance to interact with Mathel, but I went in to get a haircut before the event, and I was waiting for my haircut because I had to wait a little while, and Mathel was actually there, like a few seats down. We kind of like waved, chatted just very briefly, and there was this lady there with her daughter, like a young daughter. She must have been about 2 years old or something. And the daughter was just like crying and just the mother could not figure out like what was wrong with her, what she needed. And well, I shit you not, Mathel there just walked over to the daughter and was just like, "What's wrong, sweetie?" It was very, very, just like very, very good with her. I think he's very good with children. He lifted up his shirt, breastfed her right there, and it was really good. You know, cool guy, just really chill about it, and that calmed her right down.